Before we start, just understand this is not a signal service. Everything you see here is for educational purposes only. Trading involves risk, and the goal here is not to follow trades, it's to learn the process behind them.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? Nah, that shit's still blurry. It's not just me. Get your focus on, man. Get your focus on, man. Get your focus on. Good morning, and welcome to I'm the Trader Capital Live Trading for Law. It's Friday, May 22. First and foremost, all glory to the Most High God. Let's bow our heads for a quick prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your mercy and your grace. We thank you for another opportunity to try again to learn and grow in these markets. Father, we ask that your will be done today as it is in heaven. Father, I ask that you give us the heart of a giver and make us a lover of our neighbor. Please let me not lead anyone that listens to me astray, but use me as a vessel to bring your children back onto you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Can the church say amen? Amen. Let's begin. Before we jump into the charts, I just want to say this. There was a time I used to sit down on the charts with no real plan, jumping between strategies, losing, blowing accounts, second guessing every entry, and honestly just hoping that the trade would work. And that's where most traders are today, not because they're not capable, but because they're structured. The cause that causes traders to fail is that they have no knowledge on money, they don't know how to lose, they don't know how the markets operate, and they don't have a winning model. 90% of traders fail, all 90% are plagued with one or pitfalls. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 pillars that every trader must have in their trading to survive and thrive in the financial markets, so you can join the 10% who succeed and fast track your way to the top 1% of the wealthiest people on this planet. It's called the 10% to 1% club. Let's go. Woo! But before we dive deep into the 3 core pillars, when you step into this arena, on this battlefield, you must first have 2 crucial realizations. Realization number 1, trading is war. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is the hardest thing that you'll ever do in your life. Realization number 2, all traders are money managers. As a trader, your ability to manage money is vital to your survival in this industry and in life as we know it. Most traders think that success in the markets comes from finding the perfect strategy or catching the biggest moves. But the reality is, trading success is built on 3 core pillars. First is money and mindset. This is the foundation of success. Then is risk management. This is the holy grail of trading. This is what will keep you in the game long after everybody else has quit. And lastly, we have trading edge. This is where all traders start. I know this because this is where I started. That's why in today's session, we're going to hone in on your trading edge. Now, everything that we do here is built around one thing, and that is confidence in your trading edge. And at I'm the Trader Capital, our confidence comes from 3 things. First, it comes from understanding how the market actually operates. Not what social media says, but how money truly moves. Second is having one trader model. One model with IPDA signatures that we trust and execute on a consistent basis. Third is having a plan and a process, because without a plan and a process, you're just reacting to price and you're winging it each and every time. And this right here, this session, this is where we focus on the 3rd piece, the process. So many people lose confidence in trading and in life because they simply don't have a plan. There's no process they're following. There's no procedures and protocols that they're abiding by. They literally are just winging it. And they wonder why they can't get consistent. They wonder why there's ups and downs in their equity curves. They literally can't figure it out. The uncertainty of not knowing exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it, why and when you're doing it in the market will cause you to fail in trading. Confidence and certainty are key if you want to be successful in trading, and it's your responsibility as the trader, as the analyst, as the fund manager. It's your responsibility to attain that confidence, not only in your model, but also in your processes. So what I want to do right now real quickly is I want to share with you the process that we teach all our analysts at I'm the Trader Capital, and then we'll see that process live in action. This is the 3-step trading process. Step 1, condition. This is where we determine our bias. Before we even think about entering a trade, we need to know the market program. Are we in a buy program or sell program? This is where the market shows its hand. Then we have step 2, stage. This is what sets up your trade and what does your trade look like. There are 2 types of trades, retracement setups and continuation setup. Then we have step 3, execution. This is how you're going to enter, manage, and close the trade. At I'm the Trader Capital, we have 4 entry criteria before executing. I'm not here to force trades. I'm here to execute my plan step by step in real time. All right, let's get into the live trading flow. Now, as you're watching, don't just look for entries. Pay attention to the process behind the entries, because this is what will get you into the 10% of traders who succeed. And if you want to go further to the 1%, well, that's where we break down all 3 pillars inside of the program. I used to think that winning trades built confidence, but it's not the wins. It's knowing exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it before, during, and after each trade. And that is what we're building here. Let's begin with our daily trading processes. All right, weekly target going to this week is 3%. Mental check-in, feeling generally okay. Excited to see what price action has in store for us today on this Friday. Excited to continue to grow, all right, and get 1% better. I had a chance to go back into price yesterday, and I noticed a few good setups. PM session was pretty good as well, but we'll get into that when we review yesterday's. But yeah, I'm excited to grow, all right, ending another amazing week here in the chart. So yeah, 1% better this weekend. That's all we can ask for, all right? Acknowledge risk. I accept any risk that comes with trading today. I understand that trading comes with real risk and that losing is part of the battle. News, like I said, it's Friday, May 22nd. All right, May 22nd. We have medium impact news coming out at 10. All right, so only news for today. So we have news. All right, making it an optimal day to take a trade. All we need is a medium impact news or high impact news. Right, either one. Right, we're good to go. Makes it an optimal day for us right here. All right, risk going into today, we're at 0.25 of account size, and we have a max of 0.75 per account per day. All right, weekly program going to this week. It started off in a sell program, and it flipped yesterday into a buy program. So let's go ahead and review price action overnight. All right, to see if anything's happened to change our weekly program here at the Trader Capital. I'm going to be very conscious of the time today, because yesterday I was like behind the time. Anyway, nothing's really happened to change our weekly program. Okay, we're still in a buy program. Price would need to come all the way down and take Tuesday's low. We're looking like we're at Tuesday low of the week this week. All right, it would need to come and take Tuesday's low, all right, to flip our buyer. So we're remaining in a buy program currently. Let's adjust our higher time frame dealing ranges and proceed. I can never see this bitch with this thing on. I believe it's this low. Yeah, this is the low. All right, we've got a 20-day adjusted. Previous week is good. Let's get previous day. Okay, so we've taken previous week's high already. So if you were basing your condition based on previous day, all right, you'd be in a buy program because we've taken previous day's high, all right, which will put you in line with our weekly program currently, okay? But for me personally, I don't use previous day's range. I have it on the chart because obviously I can frame setups around those key levels, but it doesn't determine my condition going into the day, okay? Nothing wrong if you want to use previous day, right? It's personal preference. It's a solo sport here, okay? What I do may not work for you, so you need to find what works for you. And to do that, you have to be in this bitch. It's Friday! It's Friday. Another amazing week. We thank you, Lord, for carrying us through another week here. Whew. Anyway, let's review yesterday. Let's finish yesterday really quickly. I don't want to do too much, and then we can get into today. I give myself two minutes to talk about yesterday, because a nigga like me can keep going and going and going. When it comes to these price action, when it's like super clean and super nice, it's just so exciting, you know. PM session was so much better than AM session. Not that AM session wasn't good. When I looked back at it, it was good, but PM session was very much cleaner. Yeah, so we only took that one L. Cool. PM session kicked off. All right, we had already taken dealing range buy side. Okay, so our session, our daily bias flipped from sells to buys. All right, I'm going into PM session, so we're looking to be a buyer of the market. All right, at 150 we were above external liquidity dealing range high. Okay, we took buy side above it, came down, market structure shift below it, gave us a retracement, set up back inside of the range into a discount. Okay, and then 250 macro, all right, 250 macro, we got a continuation. We got a continuation buy down in here using PM session open range sell side, all right, below it. Yeah, that was it, right? Yeah, that's it. Or was it? Because right now it's not looking like it's above it. Oh, maybe it was previous days low. Da 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 da. Oh no, it was previous days high. Yeah, previous days high. It was previous days high. It was somewhere here. Okay, we came down below previous days high into an inefficiency. Market structure, swing with displacement. Market structure shift back above that. Okay, and yeah, give us a continuation setup. I was in this, all right, but I got scared out of it for some reason. Okay, it wasn't my account, so it was just a lot of pressure. I had a test run of trading other people's money, and it wasn't a very good test run. I wasn't ready. I'm not ready. It wasn't my account, so it was a lot of pressure to like not take a loss. All right, and I was just like, I really wanted to get out here. Okay, I really wanted to, which would have been negative. It hit -1, right? It hit my target, but I really wanted -3. Okay, and I got scared out of it, so I was like, you know what, let me just take my -1 and be done with the trade. But anyway, I'm rubbing too much. And then 350 macro, okay, we got this beautiful continuation buy, okay, which was also a retracement sell using open PM session opening range sell side. Okay, we took liquidity below it, swing, displacement, market structure shift back above. This is a retracement setup based on PM session range, but a continuation based on the whole daily range. All right, condition being in a buy program. Okay, so that's how they kind of work together to like come together and make a masterpiece of price action. It's been incredible to actually notice it this week. But yeah, that was yeah, I did get into this, but I knew I was wrong with this, and I just closed it. And when this one confirmed, I jumped into this one to make back the money. Ended up like making like $1.20 on that trade. I came out of drawdown, so that's how that ended. But solid stuff to see anyway. Regardless, let's get into today. All right, step 1, condition, determine bias. In order to do that, my condition going into today, I go from 12 a.m. to current price action. Oh, hey, it's not the fib, bruv. It's not the fib, bruv. Come on, man. How many times have you been doing this now? We go lowest low to highest high. Just like that. We go our dealing range. I use the parallel channel now because it allows me to set an alert, and it allows me to drag easily to where I need it to drag to. Unlike the fib, it's kind of difficult. Anyway, above dealing range, this is still, we have Thursday, May 14th, Asia session buy side. I'll leave that for now. If we need to get the other one, we'll get it. But we also have what is that? PM session buy side above that as well on the same day. Below dealing range, we have PM session sell side from yesterday, and we're kicking off. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Sell side, open range, 9:30 kickoff. Open range gap is below price. Okay, so we gapped up. We have a premium gap up. Let's see what price action has in store for us today on this Friday. Money and Mindset Friday. Get your money right. Get your money right. Have your mind on your money as you go into the weekend. So you don't go do what the 99% do and blow it on lifestyle and entertainment, okay? Because that's not what we're here for. We're here to build wealth. We're here to build passive income. And then once we have passive income that's taking care of our basic necessity and our ends meet, and obviously still have surplus to keep investing, that's when you start blowing money on lifestyle. That's when you can do all that. All right, but until then, sacrifices have to be made. We're heading for, let me set an alert, dealing range buy side. Hasn't taken it yet though. It's Money and Mindset Friday. Can you see that? Can you see that on the side there, on the little side piece there? Oh, a little side chick. Money and Mindset Friday. Just unsubscribing for unnecessary emails and that. Thank you very much. Money and Mindset Friday. Money and mindset. This is the first pillar, all right, of any trading business. All right, if you're gonna start a career, if you're gonna do a hobby here in these markets, all right, you have to have a full grasp and an understanding of money and your mindset towards money. Okay, and that is what we're here for today. Every Monday, every Friday, we get your mind on your money, money on your mind, all right? So you end your week with your money on your mind. You start your week with your money on your mind, so you know what you're going to work for, right? You know what you're putting all this hard work for, right? And it's not to spend it on the 99% what they do in lifestyle and entertainment, okay? It's to first invest in yourself, invest in your business, and then invest in income producing assets that will buy you passive income. That will essentially buy you freedom. Because what's the point of all of this for if you're going to keep trading to make money, to keep trading to make money, to keep trading your time to trade to make money, right? That's not what it's about, right? It's about coming in here into this ocean of money, all right? Pulling out as much as you can, right? As much as they'll allow you to pull out, and then putting that money to work for you, okay? So money and mindset, money and mindset, money and mindset. All right, this is the foundation of success in literally anything that you set your mind to, really and truly. It's not just in trading. All right, let's say you're going to start a business, another business, right, a restaurant business. You still need to have your mindset on money correct, right? You still need to know what money is, how to use money, right? In order to join the 1%, we must first know what the 1% do with their money, right? Before we even join the 10%, right? You need to be aware of the target of the goal. Where we're going is the 1%, right? Here we can get you into the 10%, all right? But if you don't know money and mindset, if you don't have your money and mindset correct, right, you're always going to just be in the 10%, and the goal is not to be stuck in the 10%. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being part of the 10% of traders who succeed, but that's not the goal for me here personally, okay? And that shouldn't be the goal for you here either, if you're here listening to me, all right? Our goal is to join the 10% and then eventually work our way to the 1%. But in order to do that, we must first know how the 1% think, what they do with their money, all right? And that's what today is all about. Money and mindset Friday. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this thing, you know, because now I don't know how to go to the next slide and things and that, because I don't have the next slide on here. I don't know how to do that. Maybe I can just click and go to next, down, up, below, up and above, if it lets me do that. No, it doesn't let me do that here. It don't let me do that. It don't let me do that, you know. So let's see something here. Taking dealing range buy side, all right. Oh, you're late and loud. Taking dealing range buy side condition has been established as a buy program, okay, in line with our weekly program, okay. So we're looking to be a buyer of this market today. Doesn't mean that we can't sell, okay, but we have to understand that selling will be a retracement and we'll be going against our daily condition and our weekly condition, okay. So just be aware of that. Above price, okay, we have Thursday, I believe it was May 12th, Asia session buy side. Let's get the other buy side because it's looking like it's gonna be no competition, no hesitation to get to the buy side here today. And then above that, okay, we have PM session from that same days, buy side above price. So we got relative equal highs above price, all right, likely draw. And then above that, okay, we've got 20-day high, woo-wee, which is also previous week's high, which is also lunch session buy side in line with that as well, up there. Nothing for us to do here though, okay? We'll wait until 9:50 MAC. But we have step one. All right, now we move on to step two, stage. All right, types of trades. We only have two types of trades: retracement setups and continuation setup. All right, a retracement setup now would be going against the grain. We'd be going against both conditions here, our daily and our weekly condition. I guess I'll just leave it on the side there alone and let it be. All right, so on the agenda for money and mindset, all right, this is what we talk about inside of the program. We're not going to dig into everything today. All right, we're going to talk about the first three things. I mean, I guess we'll just work through it until we get to where we get to, I guess. This is really for me to to know and understand my material and my reasonings for being here. If you take something from it, great. If you don't, great. You know what I mean? Either way, all right? Whatever you think, that is your perspective, that is your reality. Hold on. Yeah. All right, all right, all right, all right. So on the agenda, money and mindset, all right, we're going to talk about the misconceptions and myths about money, all right? The only two things you need to know about money, the wealth creation equation and formula, why I believe trading business model is the greatest wealth building tool, right? Do a money exercise, and we'll go over the $1 billion principles to join the $1 billion club. Woo! Woo! We are talking money and mindset today, all right? Money and mindset. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. We're going to kick off with misconceptions about money. Misconceptions and myths about money, all right? Now, what are some misconceptions and myths about money that you have in your head right now? What have you been told about money that's like vilified money and made it seem like it's something that you shouldn't go after, right? Something that you shouldn't attain for yourself or get an abundance of, all right? What have you been told about money? great question is, what do you believe to be true about money that isn't true, right? So all over the world, these are some things that we've all been taught about money, that we all know about. We all been, like I said, taught about money. That's vilified money in our mindset, right? That's kept us broke and kept us from achieving or getting more money, all right? Because we don't make money. We can't make money. We cannot physically make money. It's illegal to make money, all right? Only the people who own and control money can do that, all right? And we'll also get into that as well. If you weren't here last Friday, then you don't know. If you were, you know who we're talking about here, okay? All right, so misconceptions and myths about money, all right? We'll go over each one individually. Oh, how am I going to do this now? Because now how can I get the points, right? Oh, this is really good, though. It's a good test run to see how we're gonna run this sufficiently. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because we gotta get to the point where this is sufficient, right? I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. This is my beginning. This is my start. If I do that, oh, hold on. It's not even showing. You don't even see the bottom, do you? Oh, you guys don't see it, but I see it. Hold on. Let me adjust this thing real quick. It's not showing everything I want it to show. Okay, there we go. Like that. La 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 da. How's it looking? How's it looking? I ain't know how it's looking. Okay, I can mess with that. I can mess with that. I can mess with that. Don't do me like that, man. Okay, let's leave it alone for where it is right now. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. We'll get this together. Don't worry, we'll get this together. I know how I'm gonna show this. You know how I'm gonna do that. Let's see something real quick. Yeah. See. Oh, it's not even on this one, isn't it? So let's undo that. No. Yeah, that's. Da 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 da. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. We're getting our shits together, you know what I'm saying here? We're getting it together. Trying. 950 macro. Popping off. We'll be back to our content in a second. at my girl, her take profit though. Let's do that. Let's do that. Da 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 da. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, let's smash that now. Let's go. Very clean, very nice. Very clean, very nice. All right, all right. Before we talk about the misconceptions and myths about money, all right, let's talk about why money matters, right, to everybody on this planet, all right? Money is an essential part of our lives, all right? It affects every individual, regardless of background or circumstances, okay? In today's presentation, okay, we're going to explore why money is crucial, all right? The misconceptions surrounding it, all right? And its impact on our ability to lead a successful, fulfilling life, all right? By the end of this presentation, you'll understand the importance of earning, managing, and growing your wealth effectively, all right? That's my goal here, all right? We're playing in a pool of money, all right? So we must know what we must do with that money, right? How we must get it, keep it, and get it to multiply, okay? We live on an economical planet, all right? On an economical planet, all right? Everything, money affects every part of our life, right? We need money to wipe our butt, all right? If you want to get toilet paper to wipe your ass, you need money to go get that toilet paper, okay? Money is an essential resource, all right, that we need for things such as food, healthcare, and even education, right? If you want a good education, you need money to do that, all right? It influences the opportunities available to us in our ability to achieve personal and professional goals, all right? It's not the end all be all right? We will talk about that in a second when we go into the misconceptions, which is already in front of you already. But it is a necessary resource, a tool, all right, for a better life, all right? And that's what really pretty much what it is a tool, all right? Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, that's all a bit too much, really and truly. All right, first misconception and myth about money is that money is evil, all right? Many of us have been misled about the true nature of money and what money can really do for us, all right? We're told that we don't really need money and money isn't everything, and all of these misconceptions in front of you, but it's just something that we've been programmed and taught for us to stay in a broke mindset, all right, and not have an abundance in money, okay? So money is evil. This is a misconception that some people believe to be true about money, all right? They believe that pursuing wealth is inherently wrong or greedy. Right? Just because somebody wants more money or to achieve abundance in money means that they're greedy, all right? Means that, you know, it's not something that they should do. Is wrong, right? But it's not wrong. As we just went over, money is essential to every part of our life, all right? And to have money to live a successful, productive life, all right, you need to have some money, all right? It's not the end all be all, but you need to have money on this planet anyway, because we live on an economical planet, all right? Everything costs money, all right? And wanting more, all right, doesn't make you greedy, all right? Doesn't make you greedy at all. So don't think that, all right? I want more out of life, right? I don't want to be comfortable. I don't just want enough money to be comfortable, all right? I want abundance. Like I said last week, I want abundance in everything, in my financial life, in my spiritual life, in my relationships, in my recreational. I just want abundance in everything that I do, right? I never want enough of anything to be content, because that's not what we're on this planet to do, all right? We're not here to be comfortable, and we're not here to be content. All right, next misconception, all right, or myth about money is that money is hard to get and that it takes money to make money, okay? Money is not hard to get, right? This belief can discourage people from seeking financial success or investing in their future. This belief keeps people where they're at. It makes them, gives them an excuse to be like, oh, I don't have money because money is hard to get, and that's why I don't have money. But there's people out there that have achieved abundance and, you know, have created wealth for themselves. That means it's a possibility. It wasn't hard for them to get it, right? If it's not hard for one person to get it, then it's not hard for everybody to get it, really and truly, okay? Also, it takes money to make money. This is something that I obviously I believed it at one point. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I heard it and I'm like, oh, it does make sense. If I had more money, then I could make more money. But it actually doesn't take money to make money. Like I said, we can't even make money. It's illegal for us to make money. We can only get money. Only central banks can make money. It's our job to get the money once they've made the money. All right, once we get it, we have to learn how to keep it and how to get it to multiply, which we'll talk more about it when we get into the only 2 things you need to know about money, okay? But for now, it doesn't take money to make money. It takes courage, it takes creativity, it takes action, and it takes persistence. These 4 things, that's what you need to make money, okay? These are 4 things that everybody is endowed with by God. God has given you these 4 qualities and everybody on this planet, okay? So if you want to make money, right, you need creativity, you need action, you need persistence, and you need whoa. What was that 4th one? I just said it though. Oh my god, it just escaped me. Hold on. I'm gonna remember this. Creativity, action, persistence, courage, and you need courage. All right, those are the 4 things that you need. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes those 4 things, all right, to make money or to get money, not make it, right? To get money. Nothing for me to do here. All right, we have time. All right, we have price up here, which is external liquidity, which is dealing range high. We also have external liquidity down here, which is previous day's high. Okay, so I'm waiting for price to get to one of these levels. Okay, and then we'll see what we get, what characteristic price does around those level will let me know potentially where it wants to head to next and what type of trade, what type of setup we'll be getting into. All right, see if it's going to be a retracement or it's going to be a continuation. I think last week I did a better job at this than this week, to be honest. I need to go back into last week, rewatch last week, and kind of follow the flow of last week because I like the flow of last week. It was just so sick. But anyway, it's only gonna get better the more I do it. All right. The information is gonna be in my head more. Okay. Right now, it's just me revisiting the information and getting it back into my own head. Okay. As I grow comfortable and confident in the information here, obviously these presentations will run much more smoothly. Okay. Yeah. 1% variation every day. That's my goal. All right. That's all I can do here. Okay. Next misconception and myth about money is that money can't buy happiness. And we talked about this last Friday. Although, yes, money cannot buy you happiness, this is a partial truth, right? Yeah, that's not what I want to say. What it says there is not what I want to say. It's a partial truth because although money can't buy you happiness, physical happiness, it can, all right, buy you the things, all right, give you the experiences, all right, make you the connections, right, allow you to make the connections, all right, that will lead to happiness, all right. So it's not the cause of happiness, is an effect. Does that make sense? It doesn't cause you to be happy, but it has an effect. It can affect your happiness. Okay, all right, because it allows you to do the things that do make you happy, right? And that's not money itself making you happy, right? It's the things that money can do for you, right? Can get for you that will bring you happiness. All right. That's if that makes any sort of sense at all. I think it made sense in my head anyway. Last misconception, all right, and myth about money is that money isn't everything. Yes, money isn't everything, right? It's but what does it really mean though, right? We often hear it, money isn't everything, but what does that really actually mean, all right? The half truth, right? While money isn't the only important thing, is an essential for securing basic needs and creating opportunities. Okay, money can be used as a tool to enhance your life, provide for loved ones, all right, and contribute to society and the world as a whole as we know it, okay? And that's our goal here, right? Like I said, once you get this skill, once you master this skill, it's no longer just about you, all right? It's about your family, it's about your community, it's about your country, and it's about the world as a whole. All right. Dropping down into previous day's high. Okay. Market structure shift up here. I'll be interested here because we took sell side below it. Oh, and we've got 10 o'clock. Excuse me, Alice. Excuse me, Madam Alice. Money and mindset. I always get distracted when we talk about money, you know what I mean? Who doesn't like to talk about money? If you don't like to talk about money, you're the kind of person I don't want to be around. You know what that means? That means you ain't got it, or you're not even trying to get it. You know what I mean? Talk money to me. Talk dirty money to me. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Oh, snap, crackle, and pop. That is the low in it. Excuse me. Excusez-moi. I was like, why is this line there? Am I wrong? Am I on the wrong thing? And I was on the wrong thing. Right now, nothing for me here. One contract, Larry. The true value of money lies in what it enables you to do, all right? And that's pursue passion, support family, and make a difference on this planet, okay? These misconceptions all over the world, right, can prevent people from taking control of their financial life and achieving their full potential, right? These are myths and misconceptions, and you're thinking of money that are keeping you broke, all right? They're keeping everybody else around the world broke, all right? So you need to really ask yourself, right? What do you believe to be true about money that isn't true? All right. Right now, in your current state, in your current understanding of money, current limited understanding of money, what do you believe to be true about money that currently isn't true, right? For me, this is how I should have started this presentation, anyways. Tell you a little bit about me. I grew up with a single African mother, all right? She didn't really know anything about money, except aside from her needing money to feed herself and her kids. That's pretty much the only thing that she knew about money, that she needed money, all right? An immigrant parent at that, right? All she knew that she needed money, she needed to work to make money to take care of her kids. And pretty much that's all I knew about money, all right, growing up. And as an adult, right, that's all I knew about money, that I needed money, all right. In order to do things, I needed money. But I didn't really know anything else about money. I didn't know why. I knew why I needed the money. I didn't know how, right? How we can multiply money, all right? So I wasn't taught that. And I'm not blaming my mom for that, because she didn't know, right? She grew up in Africa, in Ghana, right? Nobody taught her about money. Nobody taught her how to join the 1% club, right? She didn't know. That information wasn't readily available to her where she comes from. So I can't blame her, all right? Like we talked about last week, it takes one person. I need to focus here, because yesterday I yesterday, just a blink of an eye, and the setup was like it was gone without me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyways, I was saying I can't blame my mom, right? In every generation, right? In every family, it takes one person to change that family's history for generation. And like we established already, for my family, I'm that person. Okay, it's me. It's my responsibility to change my family's generation for history. It's my responsibility to seek the information that my mom didn't know. All right, so I can better our lives. Because in this world, obviously, we see wealthy people in this world, right? We know who they are, all right? They make themselves readily, not readily available, but we know who they are, right? So if somebody can do it, it just shows you the possibility of what's out there and what is possible, right? And it's up to us, right? It's up to us to seek that information, to seek that knowledge. If that's what you want for your life, and that's what I want for my life. Like I said, I want abundance. All right, I'm watching on the supporting time frame. Nothing for me here on the 1 minute, but I'll be watching this market structure shift here. If it gives it, not that what I'm looking for. We are collecting data on this, all right? Depending on how this week goes, all right, we'll be pulling the trigger on them starting next week, and obviously how my back testing session goes this weekend as well. But from last week and this week, I'm fairly confident that I'll be engaging in those coming next week. So far, nothing here yet. All right. Da 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 da. This is the high here that needs to go in 1 minute for me to be interested. But yeah, I will be, like I said, I will be watching this and collecting data on this high. Let me no sync it. Actually, I'll just leave it there for now. All right, it would have been confirmed here. So we're watching this. It will be a continuation buy. Yes, continuation. Watching it on the supporting time frame. Are you in one? Da 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 da. Let's no sync that. We're just watching it here. We just watching it here. It's respecting its inefficiency. It's Friday, Money and Mindset Friday. Let's see how many contracts. We're looking at 2 contracts, so we're looking at -1 or 1.5 right there. So let's watch it along and see what happens here. I don't even think this would even allow me any contracts, really and truly. Yeah, it will just have to go without us here. That's a-okay. That is a-okay. All right, you'll be getting bread and butter there. Yeah, we haven't got plausible deniability there, so we'll wait for some plausible deniability. What do you believe to be true about money that isn't true? Have you done your research, right? You're thinking of money right now. Have you researched it, right? Have you found somebody that's proven that to be true or not true, right? Because if one person has done it, then it can't be true, right? 100% can't be true. All right? Money affects every aspect of our life, from basic needs to personal freedom, all right? Misconceptions about money can hold us back, but financial education can empower us to achieve success, all right? It's important that you take charge of your financial future, all right? When black swan events happen, right, those are affected are those with no control of their finances, all right? Those that leave their money to 401ks and money managers on Wall Street, all right? Those are the ones that are hit the hardest, all right, when the black swan events happen. When black swan events happen, they don't come with a warning, right? Nobody knows it's happening. It just hits. And common folks, right? Common hard-working folks are the ones that are affected the most. And the people at the top, all right, they thrive during a black swan event, and that's where I want to get to. That's why when people say they just want to be comfortable, like, what is comfortable? Comfortable means that you're one major event away from being at the bottom of the barrel, right? One economic crisis, which is one thing that history has taught us that will happen and continues to happen, right? History has taught us that, economic crisis will hit. It's not a matter of when. Oh no, it's not a matter of will it hit, it's a matter of when, right? When will it hit? And that's something that, we don't know, right? We're not in the know like that to know when it's gonna hit. So you just have to be prepared and take charge of your financial future, all right? Money isn't everything, but understanding its importance and managing it well, all right, can greatly enhance your life and the lives of those around you. And that's my goal here, right? It's not just about me. It's not just about me. It's never been just about me. In the remainder of this phase, all right, money and mindset, you're going to learn more about how to effectively manage, grow, and use money to create the life that you desire. Da 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 da. I got a wedding today, It's crazy. I almost forgot about it. I got a wedding today. We about to turn up. Oh, we got plausible deniability there on bread and butter setup there. The harsh reality of poverty and not having any money, all right, on this economical planet we live on. For those with little or no money, all right, life can be a continuous struggle, okay? You have limited access, right? Limited limited resources. Like, where is this thing? You know what I mean? All right, lack of money, all right, restricts access to basic needs, education, and healthcare. Okay, which brings us to health impacts, right? Financial constraints lead to poor nutrition, inadequate healthcare, and a higher risk of illnesses. All right, social exclusion. Poverty can result in social isolation, discrimination, and reduced opportunities. Right, if you don't have money, right, you're typically excluded from things in society as we know it. Right, and a cycle of poverty. All right, poverty can perpetuate itself, making it difficult for individuals to escape without intervention. Right, once you get stuck in that poverty cycle, it's very hard to get yourself out of it. Okay. Da 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 da. Oh, I always forget this. Every time I bring it here, I always forget it. It's smooth. Like, this brings us to the only two things we need to know about money. These are the only two things, all right, that we need to know about money. First, we need to know the who behind money, all right? And then we need to know the three hows: how to get it, keep it, and get it to multiply, all right? These are the only two things that we need to know about money. Forget everything else you've been told about money. These two things are the only things that you need to know about money, all right? The who behind it, all right, and how do you get it, keep it, and multiply money. That is our mission here, all right? Is the three hows. How do we get it? How do we keep it? And how do we get it to multiply? Once you understand the who behind money, also these candlesticks become more clearer and more apparent as to why it's moving the way that it's moving. Okay. cuticles, some of them need assistance. Money and Mindset Friday. Nothing for me here. So good. She did boom me for emergency. I need to know what you did. Oh, you send me your location. Yep, you be getting smashed out of that. So let's see. And there would be nothing wrong with that, right? Losses are the only thing promised to us here. We understand that. We accept the risk, okay, that comes with trading. Oh. About to say, what? No way, I would jump straight there. That didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. When it comes to the who behind money, right? Knowing the who behind money. Right? Money is created and controlled by central banks, right, which are the institutions responsible for managing a nation's currency, money supply, and interest rates. All right. So for the U.S., this will be the U.S. Federal Reserve. All right. We have the European Central Bank and we have Bank of England. These are central banks. Okay. Central banks have the authority to print physical currency. All right. They can make money. All right. They're the only ones that can make money. Okay, and create digital money through the banking system. Money is their asset, their commodity, right? They own it, they set the price of it, they control it. So I'll be watching, I'll be interested in this right here as a continuation. Continuation for daily condition, all right? But it would be a retracement for session condition, which has been established as a sell program, right? The session bias, because we took open range, dealing range, sell side. So we're watching this now. Would have been taking out this after bread and butter. Now we're here. Watching this setup here. Excellent. She done pull me for emergency. I can't believe I failed my first test. No, yeah, that was. I felt the pressure, but hey, baby girl, it's the same thing. You're just looking for the same setup, right? Just a different account. Don't really make a difference. You know what I mean? But I really felt the pressure, you know? Just let me know that I'm definitely not ready to manage other people's money right now. Therefore not ready. This would have been two contracts. Two contracts still targeting negative 1.5. So let's see what's in store for this one. I'm gonna get ready for a wedding today. Ay, it won't crack. It won't crack, and that's annoying. Ooh. First hour of trading is about to be behind us. All right. So they control the money supply, central banks, all right, through the open market where they buy and sell government bonds. Okay, hold on. Talk about how it's controlled. Need to go to the next slide. I just switched this up, so now is, you know, it's all jacked up and shit. All right, they control the money supply, all right, through the open market, right, where they buy and sell government bonds, all right. When central banks purchase bonds, they inject money into the economy, increasing the money supply. Conversely, when they sell government bonds, they're pulling money out of circulation, tightening the money supply. Additionally, central banks influence the economy by setting interest rates, which affects borrowing costs and spending behaviors, okay? So money belongs to them, is their asset, is their commodity. They set the price of it and they control it, all right? Central banks play a significant role in shaping economic conditions, impacting everything from inflation rates to the availability of credit, and ultimately influencing the financial well-being of individuals, businesses, and the economy as a whole. that's like 100 ticks there, isn't it? Or 100 handles. 490. -1 for his partial. Gives it to me, I'll be interested here. Be a continuation buy setup. Retracement setup using session condition. Let's go 2 and 3 right there. It's out of my hands, right? It's in the market. Model, trade management. It's hand. Nothing I can do here. But just pay attention to the candlestick to see if I'm seeing what I need to see. We're talking about how the central banks control the money supply, okay, through the open market, buying and selling government bonds. So a little unknown secret is that central banks, right, they own hedge funds, right, which they use to manage financial risk and stabilize markets. And that is why I believe like scaling to a hedge fund, that is the ultimate, for me anyway, the ultimate goal, right, to join that 1% club. And it's not just about me joining the 1% club, it's about providing other people the opportunity, right, to 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 strategies and returns that are, you know, reserved for like big institutions, right, like central banks and big banks, right, the people in the know, smart money, right. Obviously, because some people are never going to be able to overcome or master themselves in here to be successful as traders, as money managers, as speculators, okay. And that I want to be that bridge between the people that can't do it themselves. All right, I want to provide that opportunity for them to invest with me, and I do it for them. All right, we do it for them here. I'm the trader capital, and then we just distribute returns to them as the investments make money. I'm watching obviously we're in this one, so we're watching this one. We're also watching how the support and time frame does in this setup. It's already giving us -1. It's heading to our terminus right now because it allowed us 2 contracts there, okay, at -1.5. That would be our terminus. So we're seeing if we get terminus on that trade. This is literally like a one-to-one type thing here. Let me get the thing back again. Or barely one-to-one. Yeah, just a little bit under one-to-one. Waiting for 1050 macro. So now that we know the who behind money, right? How do we get, keep, and multiply money, right? This takes us to the wealth equation, wealth creation equation and formula, all right? And we'll get more into that. How do you get money? How do you keep it? And how do you get it to multiply? The 3 hows, all right? In order to get into the wealth creation equation and formula, right, we first have to understand that there are only 2 vehicles to build wealth, right? There are only 2 vehicles to build wealth, right? We have earned income, right, which is income from employment such as a job or a business, okay? Here you're actively working for money, right? This is taxed heavily, all right? This is like your highest expense here, all right? Taxed at 40 to 50%, right? In some states it's 50%, okay? All right, and then we have passive income, all right? And this is income from a limited partnership or rental properties, okay? So here you're not actively engaged in an activity to make the money, okay? You're taxed little to little to zero taxes. You're taxed little to zero taxes, all right? From 0 to 20% of your taxes, which meaning is double the money, right? Because for earned income you're being taxed twice as much, right? So here at 20%, that means it's double the money, really and truly, okay? So these are the 2 vehicles we need to build wealth, all right? We all need the first one, right? The first one will take you to the second one, right? Depending on how you manage your net income from the first one, which we'll get into right now. Okay, so the road to wealth creation, all right? The first step in building wealth is to create a source of income, all right? So we all start on the same path to build wealth. Where it diverts is where we make our investments, which we'll dive more into, okay? Without income, there is no capital to invest and build upon, okay? This is why money is important, because without it, right, you have no foundation to build upon and create the life that you really want, okay? The wealth equation. All right, the wealth equation. Now, I don't know if this is that clear on here. Yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough for now, I guess. Until we figure it out. We would have hit terminus on supporting time frame. Okay, we would have took a loss initially here. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Would have given us another opportunity here. Still using the macro time levels. Okay, potentially would have been making our loss back here. Okay, Let's see what else it offers us. Trying to see what lines up with what over here. Go negative 3.5, negative 4, negative 4.5. All right, so the wealth equation, all right, this is how it goes, right? So we all trade our time, our most valuable commodity, our time. Time is the most valuable commodity that we have on this planet. Okay, we trade that time. All right, we all trade in some type of way. Well, some of us trade here in the stock market. Some of us trade our time. All right, we go to work. All right, to get a gross income. All right, this is earned income. Gross income is the total earnings before any deductions. Okay, this is the money you have to work with initially. Okay, your total earnings is based on the amount of time you invest and the effort you put in. So let's say you have a 9 to 5. All right, your total income earning is what they value your position and the job that you do at that workplace. Okay, then from that gross income, you deduct your taxes and your expenses. All right, this will give you your net income. This is still earned income. Okay, this is the net income. All right, taxes and expenses deduction from your gross income, including government taxes and personal living expenses like rent, mortgage, healthcare, food, transportation, all of that. Okay, this will give you your net income. This is the amount left over after taxes and expenses, which is available for investments. Okay, and this is where everyone starts, right, with the earned income, all right, with the net income, and where they make that investments is where the wealth creation diverts for 99% of the people on this planet and for the 1% club of people on this planet. Okay, this is where the investment the diversion in the path to wealth diverts, right? This is where we go our separate ways. Goodbye, see ya, see you at the top maybe. Oh no. Oh man, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, so the 99% approach, right, with their net income, the 99% approach, right, they trade time for money, all right, and then the majority of them use their net income primarily for lifestyle and entertainment, all right. Consequence of this is that this often leads to additional expenses and the need to continuously trade time for money. Okay, so they're stuck in that rat wheel of trading time for money and then spending that money on lifestyle and entertainment. Okay, and then accumulate more expenses, right? They buy junk and shit they don't need. They accumulate more expenses, right? That keeps them having to continually go to work to make a living and then to blow that money as well on lifestyle and expense and entertainment and create more expenses for themselves. Okay, the cycle of this is that without investments, right, they remain in a cycle of working to maintain their lifestyle without substantial growth in wealth, what we just literally discussed. Okay, so here they're trading their time, their most valuable asset, for money, and then they're using that money, all right, not to buy them some more time, but they're using it for entertainment and for lifestyle purposes and to accumulate more expenses. Okay, this is what the 99% approach do. This is not what we want to do. This is not what we're going to do with our money. Okay, we're going to join the 1% club, right? Once we join the 10% club, is then our goal, right, is our mission to join a 1% club. And in order to do that, all right, this is what we must do with our net income, okay? So their investment strategy, all right, they allocate their net income towards investments, okay? So we all make investments, whether you're part of the 99% or you're part of the 1%, you're making an investment, all right? It's just what you're investing in, okay? For the 1%, right, they invest first in themselves. This is the sequence in which you must invest, okay? And you have to go in this sequence, or else you're breaking the chain in your path to wealth, okay? And you won't get to where you want to get to. First, you must invest in yourself, all right? Build your skills, enhance your skills, all right? Educate yourself in what you need to educate yourself in, okay? So you can continue to make more money, okay? Then you invest in your business, okay? Then you invest in assets, income producing assets, okay? This creates passive income. Investments lead to passive income streams that generate money with minimal effort, okay? So you want to invest in income producing assets such as real estate or limited partnerships, okay? Passive income buys time, leading to financial freedom and the ultimate goal of wealth creation. We're not here to create wealth to then keep working to make money, all right? The goal is to get your money to work as hard as you've worked for it, okay? While you're sitting back, letting all your hard work do the work for you, okay? We go less than 1 minute until 10:50 macro. If it gives me another setup during 10:50 macro, I will be engaging in it. These are the steps you need to take, all right, in order to create wealth for you, for your family, for generations to come, okay? Indestructible wealth. This is the steps that you need to keep taking, all right? It's like it never ends, right? It's a revolving cycle of things that you need to continue to keep doing, right? You don't ever stop, right? And you do it in these steps until you get to the wealth generation that's indestructible, right? It's gonna take a couple of generations, right? A few generations for them to mess it up. Okay, step one, right? We all start in the same spot, right? Create income, all right? Start by establishing a reliable source of income, right? Seek employment, start a business, or engage in freelance work. Focus on maximizing your initial earnings by leveraging skills, education, and opportunities, right? Why this matters is because income is a foundation for building wealth. Without it, you lack the necessary resources to invest and grow your financial assets, okay? So in order to start your path to wealth, you need to create income. This is the first step, all right? The next step, what you want to do next, 10:50 macro. Here we are. We have time. Where's price? We have external liquidity up here. We have first presenter fair value gap, which I'm currently still just collecting data on. Okay, I don't really do anything based on it yet. And then below, we have previous daily high, external liquidity down here. So let's see. Let's see what the price gives us here. All right, then step two, right? Once you create income, what you want to do in step two is increase that income, okay? The objective here is once you have a stable income, work on increasing it, all right? Actions, how you do that is enhance your skills and education to qualify for higher paying roles or business opportunities. This is where you use that, where you create income, you use that income to invest in yourself, all right, to enhance your skills and education to qualify for higher paying roles, all right, or business opportunities, okay? Explore side hustles, right, additional streams of income, or hold on, or promotions within your current job, right? So either get a side hustle or look in your current position to see if there's any more that you can do for that business, for that company, that will increase your income in that role. Okay, you don't always have to go get a side hustle. You can always make more money, all right, within that role. But if you can't, all right, then I would say look to do a side hustle. Okay. Invest in networking and personal development to unlock new income possibilities. So meet people, meet people. Like we said last week, strangers have everything that you want in this world. Meet new people, all right? The more people you meet, all right, the more potential and opportunities that you can create for yourself, all right, to increase your income. Why this matters is because higher income provides more funds to save and invest, right? Accelerating your wealth building journey, right? You need surplus. You need to increase that net income. You need to increase the money that's left over after expenses and taxes, okay? So you can keep investing in yourself, keep investing in your business, all right? And keep investing in income producing assets that build you passive income, all right? That essentially buys you freedom. Okay, so once you create income, increase that income, your next step is to keep that income. And in order to do that, all right, it means that you have to reduce your expenses and you have to reduce your taxes, okay? Right? Your biggest expense, right, is your taxes. So you need to learn the tax game, all right? This is why when wealthy people pay zero taxes, because they understand the tax game. They learned it, all right, and they know how to make it work for them, all right? This is available to everybody. It's not just the rich, all right? The tax game is available to everybody. All right, it's not a one-sided game. You need to know how to play this game. All right, and before we get more into this, all right, I'm not a tax expert. All right, I'm just providing you information, all right, that you can go to the professionals and ask them more information about it. Okay, so once again, to be disclaimed here, I'm not a tax expert. You know, information provided here is just for educational purposes only. Okay, are we in agreement there? Okay, yeah, we in agreement. All right, cool. So the objective here, right, is to maximize the amount of your income that remains after deductions, okay? And the actions to take here is implement strategies to minimize taxes, all right? There are ways that you can minimize your taxes, okay? Such as taking advantage of tax deductions, credits, and I can't read and I can't speak sometimes, and retirement accounts, okay? Create a budget to track and manage your expenses efficiently, all right? Avoid lifestyle inflation by keeping expenses in check as income increases. So as you're increasing your income, don't just go out and spend more money just because more money is coming in, all right? Your goal here is to keep more of your money, not to blow more of your money, okay? So keep that money and don't go accumulate more expenses, okay? Because you feel like you're making more money now. Don't go buy more things or more stuff, all right? Why this matters is reducing taxes and controlling expenses allows you to retain a larger portion of your income, all right, which is crucial for investing and growing your wealth. Like I said, that net income, right? We need to get that net income as fat as possible, right? So we have more money left over for investments, okay? And that's how we build that passive income. That's how we buy our freedom, okay? So yeah, trim the fat here. Keep income. You want to trim the fat, all right, and you also want to put things in place that allow you to reduce your tax bill. Okay, that is 40 to 50% of your income, just like that, gone to Uncle Sam. All right, so you need to learn how to play the game with Uncle Sam. All right, so you can keep more of your money. All right, so once you create income, increase that income, and keep that income, your last step here, all right, is to invest that leftover money, all right, that net income, to make more money, right? This is where you really start to build wealth, right? You really start the wealth building journey here that will continue to take care of you and provide for you and your family for generations to come, okay? So the objective here, all right, is to use the remaining income, the net income after taxes and expenses, right, to generate additional wealth through investments, all right? This is the only way to build wealth. This is the only way to build passive income, is by investing, okay? So first, like I said, the sequence in which we invest is we invest in ourselves, all right? We enhance our skills, knowledge, and personal growth to increase our earning potential and investment savviness, okay? So we need to first invest in ourselves, in me, right? When I started this journey, I didn't really know much, like we talked about, I didn't know much about money. So I had to invest in myself. I had to invest first my time, and then whatever little money I had left over, I had to invest in it, in myself, in getting the education that I needed to get to the next step in the phase of, you know, my wealth creation path. Okay, so I needed to do that, and I'm still doing that, right? Even now, I'm still on step one of investing in myself, right? Because I haven't made enough money, enough surplus to then invest into a business. Right now, I'm still in step one, right? I'm still in create income. I'm not saying I've made it. I'm not saying I'm, like all the way at the top. I'm not at the top. I'm very honest and very upfront about that, all right? I'm on my journey, right? This is really me starting my journey. This is my journey, and everybody's journey is different, right? Even though I'm on my journey, what gives me the right to be able to talk about what I'm talking about? Because I've done the research, right? 6 years in this game, and I've been researching all about money and how to get to that 1% club, okay? I've done my research and I've invested in myself to gain some of these knowledge, right? To gain some of this knowledge of what I didn't know before about money, all right? And now I know where I'm going. I might not be there, but I know where I'm heading to, okay? And that's what gives me the qualification to talk about it. And if you don't want to listen to me because I'm not where the 1% are yet, okay, and that's fine. If you want to go find somebody that's already in the 1% realm and listen from them, go ahead, do your thing, right? This is just me documenting my journey on my wealth creation, on my path to build wealth, okay? So first of all, that's a little disclaimer there for you guys, okay? And then what you want to do after you invest in yourself, right? And you enhance your skills so you can earn more money, right? Next thing you want to do is invest in your business, all right? Allocate funds to expand your business or start new ventures and expand your skill set that you initially invested in, right? In the beginning, when you invest in yourself, this is where you put money to expand that skill set, all right? Okay. And then after that, you expand that skill set, all right? And you start investing in your business, and your business is making surplus money, all right? Then you invest in assets, right? You invest in income producing assets, not just in assets, income producing asset. They have to be producing income, okay? Purchase income generating assets such as real estate, all right, and limited partnerships, okay? Or real estate, we all know what real estate investing is, okay? If you don't know, do some research on real estate investing. You buy a property makes money, right? Pays you, right? I really have grown, right, from my research, right, to like multifamily real estate investing, okay? That's where I potentially feel like the money is at, okay? And not in single family, not in commercials, maybe office buildings, but in multi-family real estate really is where I want to put my money, okay? So that's just my personal preference, all right? My personal wealth plan, my personal wealth path, okay? So you do your own research and find out what works best for you. But it's either real estate or limited partnership. A limited partnership is an agreement that you go into a GPLP state where you invest your funds, all right, into a limited partnership, all right? A limited partnership. And then the GPs in that limited partnership will go out and make investments, all right? For us in the hedge fund, we trade public securities, okay? So we invest and trade public securities, meaning like the stock market, bonds, anything to do with the financial markets, all right? If you invested with a real estate fund, okay, obviously real estate meaning they buy and sell buildings, real estate, okay? If you invest into venture capitals, they go ahead and they purchase or buy and sell companies, okay? So when that investments, all right, make money, all right, money is distributed to you, the LP, the limited partner, the investors, and that's how you make your money. You're not actively involved in the company or in the making of the money. You're just investing your money, and your money is being put to work for you. And then when that money makes money, right, you get your returns and you get your distributions, okay? That's what a limited partnership is. And that's there are two ways that you can create passive income through real estate and through limited partnerships, okay? So why this matters is investing allows your money to grow and multiply over time, compounding wealth and accelerating your path to financial freedom. Investing is the only way to build wealth, is the only way, right, to create passive income for you, for your family, for your community, for your generations to come, all right? So these are the 4 steps, right, to create wealth, okay? And it doesn't stop, right? You're always going to be creating income. You're always going to need to increase that income. You're always going to need to keep more of that income, and you're always going to be investing, all right? It's a cycle. It doesn't stop. We're creating income. Next thing we do is we increase that income, all right? Then we keep more of that income, so we have more left over to invest in ourselves, in our business, and income producing assets. And that's what you're going to keep doing until your passive income is maintaining your lifestyle and you have surplus to reinvest, right, back into income producing assets that just creates a wealth that is just generational. Okay, that's the goal here. It's not just to create wealth for your generation, right? Just for this, it's for the next generations to come. All right, it's not just for wealth or for me here while I'm here, right? It's about there'll be the people that are gonna come after me, and the people that are gonna come after them, after them, after them. You know. Nothing here yet for 1050 for me to engage in, and if it does give me something, I'll be engaging in it in a different account. Okay. Anyway, we've got bread and butter here. Every time this woman sends a voice note in this chat, it's just I know she's about to start crying or some shit. Her British born did something. What your British born did right now? What he went and did? Huh? What your British born went and did? Her and her British born that just gives her headache. She loves her British born though. You can't come for that boy. Oh mate. We've got some ways to go though. We've got some ways to go. Oh, I did say on big ranges like this, I should take something off a negative 0.5. Go get ready for a wedding today. Is a turn up. Love is sweet. Love is sweet. We love love, you know. We love love. You know, when it's good, it's good. When love is good, it's good. But when it's bad, it can be bad too, you know. But that's just is what it is, isn't it? It's love. That's what we're put on this planet to do. Love ourselves and love our neighbors like we love ourselves. Well, first, most importantly, we have to love God first, right? Put him first in everything that I do. Something that I always lack in, all right? In myself, actually. I start putting him first in everything that I do. So God first, and then love yourself and love your neighbor like you love yourself. Okay, so that's the two commandments, really and truly, that we must follow, and by his word. Those are the only two commandments, the most important two commandments. All right, love God wholeheartedly with your heart, with your soul, with your being, every fiber in your body. Okay, just love him. All right, glorify him, praise him. And then the second commandment is really to love yourself and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Oh my God. Oh my God. That just took it all out of me. All right, is to love your neighbor like you love yourself. All right, really and truly. Those are the only two commandments, all right, that we must live by as the church. And I'm new on this journey, right? Building a relationship with the one and only Jesus Christ, all right? I'm new to this journey, so I'm learning a lot about myself, right? About him, trying to draw closer to him, understand him more, okay? Understand his will for me, all right? Understand that I want his will to be done in my life, okay, as it is in heaven, okay? That's why every time we start our session, I always start with a prayer, all right? Trying to keep him first in the forefront of my mind and everything that I do. I do slack at that sometimes. I do slack, and I'm not living like I should be living, right? And that's just my own journey, right? It's just my own relationship with him, and I'm working on it, all right? I'm trying to be a better human. I'm trying to be a vessel for him, all right? An advocate, all right, to bring his children back onto him, okay? So I need to, the only way to do that is by knowing his word, all right, and living by his word, all right? I just, not recently, but the past couple of months, I've been reading the Bible. I just got to Deuteronomy. I can't even say the freaking word. I can say it, but it's a tough one, right? Anyway, the fourth book of Moses. It's the fourth book of Moses. Deuteronomy. Something like that. That's how you say it. English is not my first language, alright, folks? It's not my first language. So I'm just trying to be, just trying to be a better individual, alright, better human, alright, build my relationship with Christ, and because He is our Savior, right? And that's pretty much. I want to do better. Okay, I want to do better in that relationship. It's yeah, my number one priority right now is that relationship, really and truly. And I pray and I ask Him, for Him to draw me closer to Him, and anything that I need to do on my part, right, that I'm doing currently, that's not by His word, just for Him to give me a little hint, nudge, nudge, baby girl, this is not what we need to be doing. This is really where we need to be doing, okay? And ever since I started to build that relationship, and I know we just talked about money and mindset, but now we're on to bigger and better. Ever since I started to build that relationship, right, and work on that relationship, everything around me has just, I'm seeing the world in a new light, all right? My trading, since I've been building that relationship with Him, is just, everything just started to click, 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 and it's all because of Him, right? And it's His timing, it's His will, and I just have to understand everything that I've gone through, right, to get to where I am with Him currently, all right, was something that I was supposed to go through, right? Because I grew up as a Catholic and as a Christian. I'd go to church and that, but I didn't really have a good experience. Majority of people, I didn't really have a good experience in the churches that I went to, okay, which really put a strain on my relationship with God for a long, long, long period of my life, which I regret, but it is what it is, all right? I had to go through what I had to go through then to be where I am today, and it's all part of my journey, all part of my process, okay? And eventually, obviously, He's the author and finisher of our faith. So He knew what He was doing, all right? He knew that eventually I'll be back, pursuing Him, and, trying to build a relationship with Him. But anyway, had a bad experience in the churches. Always felt like I was different, right? Then this is a struggle and a fight that let me stop. We'll save this for another time. Maybe this is not the medium to get in depth in terms of my struggles and my battle internally, personally, and with God, and what He's working on me, basically. So all I can say is that He's working on me. But yeah, it just it came to a point where it's like, why am I letting other people, right, and institutions, or this building that I went to that I didn't feel comfortable or didn't enjoy being in? Why am I letting them come in between me and God? Like, that's what? That's crazy. Once I look back at it, and I was young. I was young. I was young as well. Not that it's an excuse, but obviously you don't know what you don't know, and from a young age, you just believe what you see and what what's in front of you, right? And everything is in his timing. Okay, he knew that this would be the time where I'd be like, okay, come back to your senses, baby girl. Okay, come back to your father. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Obviously, there's as long as I'm in this flesh, I'm gonna sin, and I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not always gonna do what's right by him, but it's about the heart, right? It's about what's in the heart, the intentions. All I can say is that he's working on me, and I'm trying to put the work in, all right, to meet him. I'm more than halfway, really and truly. It's Friday. Money and mindset. Friday. What's that guy's name? Yeah, that is gonna be the next one. I said, when I'm on my We can go ahead and do a trade performance review actually. Hold on. Let me pause this for after I'm done here. Yeah, so I think we're done with what we wanted to talk about actually for money and mindset, all right? Ended with the steps to create wealth. So as you're going into the weekend, all right, keep your money on your mind on your money, okay? Don't go out and be part of the 1% club. Remember this. Hold on, let's get back in here. Remember this approach, all right? Don't be part of the 99%. Our goal here is to join the 1% club. So we need to start thinking and behaving like the 1% club and what they do with their money, all right? You probably got paid this Friday, all right? Don't go spending your money in the club, buying bottles, paying for a lifestyle and entertainment, all right? Use that money, invest in yourself. Use the weekend to build a life that you really want and desire for yourself, all right? For your family and for the people around you, okay? So as you're approaching the weekend, all right, have your money on your mind and what you're doing with that money. The goal here, the ultimate goal here is freedom, right? Is to make money work for you, right? So you're not having to physically be part of the activity to make money, to build that passive income, all right? So keep that in the forefront of your mind as you're going into the weekend, okay? Let's go ahead and do a trade performance review here. What I did well today, all right, is that I showed up, all right? I got 1% better, gained experience, learned lessons that I'll take into my next trading day, next trading session. Taking a lot out of this week, to be honest. I can't wait to go back into this week and back test, all right, and further confirm and affirm what I'm seeing in the charts and just get that 1% better for the week, all right? It's been an incredible week here for me. I know I say that every week, but that's just every week I'm learning and I'm growing. I'm becoming a better analyst, a better trader. I'm learning more about myself, really, about my model, my precision protocols, and how I can, get what I need from this market, and not just about from the market, outside of the market as well. Being in here has taught me so much things about myself, all right? Not just about these candlesticks and how to, make money in these candlesticks, but just about me in general, the type of person that I am, how I operate, okay? I just learned so much. Where I fell short today, I woke up at a decent hour. I made sure to go sleep at a decent hour so I can wake up today because I've been slacking this week. I woke up at a decent hour, got my morning routine in, all right? Chart-wise, I showed up and followed my processes, my procedures and protocols, and didn't deviate from it. All right, so very happy and pleased with my performance today. Don't think I fell short anyway. This is actually wrong. It should be 725. There we go. So yeah, I don't think I fell short anywhere today, really and truly, okay? How I can improve for next day, next trading session is just keep showing up, right? Keep seeking excellence in everything that I do. Don't let short-term adversity, losses, series of losses deter me, distract me from what I got going on, right? Keep taking small steps in the right direction. Eventually we'll get to our destination, all right? Keep analyzing the data, all right? Because that's really and extracting the information that we need to extract from it, all right? And improving and refining our model, our procedures and protocols based on that data that we're collecting, all right? That's really what's shown to be like the number one growth in my journey, right? And really learning from the losses, right? It's take as much losses as you can and take them on in the beginning on the demo account, all right? With no implications, no attachments to the trade, all right? Take as many losses as you can because it's out of the losses, all right? It's how you really learn and grow, all right? As a trader, as an analyst, as a speculator in these markets, okay? Yeah, an amazing week here. Let's take a look at what our schedule is looking like for next week while this trade does what it's doing. Let's take a look at what our schedule is looking like next week. All right, so Monday is a bank holiday. All right, so we won't be here on Monday. We're off on Monday. Memorial Day, okay. Monday's a bank holiday, so no trading day for us. So there will be no stream on Monday. Okay, it's a bank holiday. This is our tentative schedule. All right. Tuesday, Wednesday, we don't have anything yet, but we'll see what Econoday is saying on Monday. Okay, and Thursday, action-packed week day, and then Friday, nothing yet. But once again, this is our backup economic calendar. It lets us know ahead of time what our schedule is looking like for the following week. But it's not really what we go based off by. Okay, we'll go based on Econoday, and we'll see what Econoday is saying on Friday and Wednesday. But for now, we know that obviously Monday is a no trading day for us because it's a bank holiday. Okay, so this is our tentative schedule for next week, and yeah, let's get back to this. See what it wants to do. We were 5 handles away. Oh no, 4 handles away from where we needed to be. So good though. We wait, we patiently wait, we let it do its thing. All right, if it comes all the way down here and takes us out, that's just how it works, right? It comes all the way down, takes us out. Just how the cookie crumbles. Just gotta let it do its thing. Nothing we can do here. All right, it's out of our hands. All right, it's not even like we have more than one contract. We're one contract, Larry. It's not that we have more than one contract to even, like, you know, adjust or reduce risk. Okay, nothing we can do, really and truly. Let's break down the trade for today, and then once this trade does what it needs to do, we can get out of here. Nothing here that I would have partaken, really and truly. Those, yeah, I need to see liquidity for retracement day. Okay, I'll be collecting data on these going back, because I noticed the same thing yesterday as well. But nothing for me to do there. Yeah, pretty much this was really the only setup I saw. Obviously we had a support in time frame set up here. All right, that failed. And we also had the support. Oh, I didn't even track that one yet. See what is done. It gave us another opportunity here. Okay, still using levels from macro. Okay, that's what made this trade valid. Okay, would be -3 on that supporting time frame entry there. Okay, -3. So condition, all right, we established our condition going to today as a buy program, because we took dealing range buy side. Okay, we had a retracement back inside of the range into a discount, and then we had the continuation setup. Even though it was using, it's a continuation setup using daily range, right, daily condition, right, but during using our session condition, all right, which is opening range, right, we established a sell program, all right, and we got a retracement setup, which was also a continuation setup using the day. Okay, so that's how they work in tandem, all right, to give you the storyline of price action. Okay, so we took open range sell side, we took liquidity below it, swing displacement, and we had obviously a market structure shift on a supporting time frame here, but for the 1 minute, okay, our market structure shift was up here, back above that external liquidity. Also, if you were using previous daily high, it gave you a continuation setup on previous daily high as well. Okay, took sell side below that external liquidity, market structure shift back above it here, and that was pretty much the only trade that, you know, I would engage in, really and truly. The only trade that I would engage in really is what I'm in. So pretty much all we got for the morning session. Now we're just letting it do its thing and seeing what it gives us. Nothing for us to do here. Okay, nothing at all. Would be making my loss back on this account for the week though, so that's good if this trade hits, because then I was down $5 from that day, and then yesterday it was down 160, I believe. Yeah, would be a break even week on this account. We'll take that any day at or above equity highs, or week of at or above equity highs is it's a great day, a great week in my book. So take it for what it is. And that would only be that 100K account that would be down for the week. It's down about two. I was 5. It's down about 310. 310. See what lunch session is saying. I might get into something for lunch. But so far, I'm just waiting so I can grab that clip. Okay, and we're done here. Nothing I can do right now but wait and let these candlesticks print and do their thing. Let it do its thing. One incredible week though, all right. This week we discovered that we just want to be really focusing on price action inside of the macro and framing our setups around that, those price action that are inside of the macro. All right, that's been a game changer for me this week. It started from last week. All right, it's been something on my mind for a minute. All right, but now as I'm collecting more data and paying attention to the price action, it's pushing me towards price action inside of the macro and how pivotal it is in terms of understanding, where price could be potentially going based on what the price action inside of the macro is. All right, time and then price. Oh, whew. And I can't wait to go back and look at the whole week through that lens, because obviously it was only after Tuesday that Wednesday was the day. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Did it close? Yep, it closed. And there you go. Done, done, done. Amazing end to an amazing week. All right. Coming out of drawdown on the week there. Love that. Yeah, literally coming out. Hold on. Yeah, literally coming out of drawdown on the week on that account, and to ending it a little bit better than break even. So this account is still down on the week. Okay, it's down about 310, like I said, and this account is up on the week. So we'll leave that alone. And if I see something sweet and nice for lunch, if I'm available for PM session, because I need to get ready for this wedding, because we're about to turn up. I'm just now I ain't playing. We're about to turn up. We're about to go celebrate love. All right, we love love. Anyway, let me go back to things so I can grab a. Oh, I wanted to do the outcome of that and 2:15 for that. Let's grab this real quick. Where's my times indicators? All right. That's it from us here. I'm the Trader Capital. All right. Like I was saying, an amazing end to an amazing week of self-discovery. All right. Discovering more about myself, about my model, about my procedures and protocols, and pretty much where, where, where and when my setups will occur and frame and form. Okay, and where I need to frame it on. Okay. Yeah, it's been amazing. Like I said, I cannot wait to go back this weekend and look at the market this week through that lens of what I already know now. Okay, it's going to be incredible, and walking it forward is just going to be more insane. Just week after week after week after week, I'm growing, I'm learning, day after day after day after day, session after session after session. We're just getting 1% better, and that's pretty much all that we can do, all that I want to be doing, and that's all I've been doing, and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor, of my hard work. Okay, so we know what our schedule is looking like next week. We already did our trade breakdown for the day. That's pretty much it from us this weekend. I know it's tedious, not tedious, but it's like I'm saying the same thing every week, but it's just how I feel, man. I'm just in awe at how much I'm learning every week, how much I'm growing and improving each and every week. I didn't even think there was more levels to this. There's so much levels to this that is just keep showing up, man. Just keep showing up. You only fail when you quit. Remember that. So all you need to do is just don't quit. Keep showing up. All right, let's wrap up though. Let's wrap up. We'll see you guys next week. Yeah. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. The outfit and still, even on days I made money, I didn't really know why it worked. And on losing days, I had no system to fall back on. That's the difference between getting a real edge. And here's the truth. Most traders only focus on entries but consistency comes from the system behind the entry. So if you've been watching and thinking this makes sense, but I don't have the full system yet, that's exactly why I created the 10% to 1% club. That's where we go deeper into all the full risk management, money and mind to join, and the exit follow. Serious about it, that is your next step. I used to think the goal was to win more trades, but the real goal is to become the type of trader who can perform no matter the outcome. Once you have that, the results will follow. That's all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next AM session, kicking off at 9:15 a.m. Kickoff once again at 9:15 a.m. To be on time is to be late, okay? So make sure you show up early. As always, I'm the trader here, signing out. Good luck, good trading, happy bloody hunting. Remember, you only fail when you quit.